The Taipei Nursery was established in 1896 during the Japanese colonization of Taiwan. Over the next 100 years, the nursery was transformed to become the famous Taipei Botanical Garden. Right next to the Taipei Nursery, a forestry research site was set up in 1911 by the Japanese authorities. It was renamed in 1939, becoming the Forestry Research Institute. And after the colonization of Taiwan ended in 1945, it finally became the Taiwan Forestry Research Institute, TFRI. After the provincial government was rescinded in 1999, TFRI became a national forestry research body as part of the Council of Agriculture Executive Yuan. TFRI is responsible for research into the management and protection of Taiwan's forest resources and the commercial development of forest products. The results of TFRI's scientific research in sustainable, diversified forest management are shared through the provision of technical assistance and consulting services to the forest industry and through government policy advisories. Currently, TFRI has 10 divisions and 6 research centers in various parts of Taiwan, conducting research, pioneering new management practices, and consulting with industry and government. TFRI's key responsibilities include sustainable management of forest ecosystems, forest biotech research, diversification of forest products, and operating national botanical gardens and experimental forests. Taiwan has a hot, humid climate, and 59% of the island is covered by forests, containing a rich diversity of plant and animal species. In recent years, there has also been a much greater global consciousness of the need to preserve biodiversity, and global warming has also helped drive changes in forestry practice. Today, the most important basis of forest management research is to maintain rich, healthy forest ecosystems. These are the objectives of multiple-purpose forest management and sustainable development. The Convention on Biological Diversity makes clear both the importance of conservation and sustainable use of resources. The demand for timber in Taiwan is 15 million cubic meters of wood per year. However, Taiwan's strict natural forest protection policies mean that at present, near 99.8% of this timber is imported from abroad. Therefore, there is a real need to improve Taiwan's ability to supply its own timber. The answer is to enhance sustainable management of plantations. TFRI carries out research on the management of plantations, tests the effects of thinning, pruning and interplanting, growth and yield projection for all major commercial tree species of Taiwan. The results generate greater yields and higher quality timber and help the silviculture system move toward greater diversification. TFRI has also developed a range of management and tending strategies for plantations. Furthermore, TFRI has established many permanent plantation plots for long-term monitoring. One key element is adaptive management of the plantation ecosystems. With these tools, TFRI aims to encourage sustainable forage management practices which are ecologically, socially, and economically practicable. To research the sustainable management of natural forests, researchers at TFRI have also established forest dynamics plots in Fushan, Lianhuachi, and Kending to monitor changes in forest vegetation over the long term. These programs enable us to understand dynamics and habitats in Taiwan forest ecosystems. With this research, Taiwan is establishing a leading position in the global study of tropical and subtropical hardwood forests. All of TFRI's plant classification and conservation research will support us to use aerial photography and remote sensing, digital terrain modeling, and ground survey data to establish a long-term forest resources database. With the assistance of our advanced Geographic Information System, we are able to produce national sustainable forest management plans, as well as conduct research into carbon management, natural ecological conservation, botanical garden management, and riparian zone management. TFRI also conducts surveys and research on community forestry. We emphasize both economic development for local residents and Aboriginal groups, and the conservation of forest ecology resources. The result is a win-win situation for both Taiwan government and local communities. Forest management and the development of its forestry sector have a major impact both on Taiwan's ecosystems and economy. By developing workable forest development plans and environmental monitoring systems, TFRI helps to increase the diversity and multiple benefits in our forests. While protecting the forest environment, TFRI also works to promote managed exploitation of forest resources and helps the forest management move to a more diversified model. We are developing a model of sustainable forestry which will benefit Taiwan's ecology, society, and economy. As well as its work in sustainable forestry, TFRI is actively involved in researching forest species of Taiwan and their genetic diversity. Taiwan is a biologically rich and diverse island with over 50,000 known species. In order to protect the biodiversity, a necessary precondition for making sustainable use of Taiwan's forest resources, TFRI has played an active role in setting up a national database of biological species. This database preserves seeds and fruits from important and rare Taiwanese tree species, indexes them with DNA barcoding, and carries out research into species gene pools, genetic mutations, and evolution. As part of its conservation and research programs, TFRI operates its own forest tree seed bank, herbarium, insect collection, and xylarium. TFRI has seen important successes in its genetic engineering projects. We have produced new varieties of low lignin and high cellulose transgenic eucalypts, and also transformed genes related to Taxol synthesis into Taiwan U cells, which were then cultured in a bioreactor to produce Taxol. Other projects include to develop micropropagation techniques to mass propagate superior clones of Taxus, Camptotheca, Nothopodites, and Cinnamomum, which could produce Taxol, Camptothecin, and Antrodia cinnamomea respectively. This research has attracted great interest, and many companies are working with TFRI to develop commercial applications. One of our missions is to make the very best use of everything the forest produces. TFRI research covers not just the assessment of timber strength and timber processing practices, but also how the use of timber from plantations affects the construction and functions of residential buildings. Recently, we've started using non-destructive testing techniques such as acoustic tests, stress wave tests, and ultrasound tests. These tests can reveal the state of health of a tree and the quality of its wood. TFRI also supports new crafting techniques such as laser engraving, which create added value in wood products. In addition, TFRI has set up a research program on constructing earthen kilns to produce bamboo charcoal. These techniques have been developed into a commercially viable production system, and TFRI is now promoting bamboo charcoal as an alternative revenue stream for Taiwan's bamboo farms. TFRI has also made important advances in pulp and paper research, including high-tech specialty papers, the art of handmade paper, and preservation and restoration of old paper items. Other projects include a pulsed electrocoagulation system for treating wastewater from paper mills, a pyrolysis and spectrometry system for testing wastewater, paper additives and pulp, and production of composite materials with nanocellulosic fibers. There is more and more recognition of the great value of essential oils, and TFRI has made them a research priority. Essential oils are extracted from wood, leaves, flowers, fruits, and roots, using both traditional distillation techniques and a newly developed supercritical fluid extraction method. Scientific analysis of the composition of essential oils allows us to identify more uses for them. For example, Oil from the Taiwan red cypress has been identified as suitable for use in the preparation of perfumes. Wood preservation and decay prevention is an important area of our research. Since extending the life cycle of wood can reduce the amount of carbon dioxide emission, TFRI research looks at how to protect wood from wear and tear and from attack by living organisms. We work both to improve commercially available preservatives and to develop our own environmentally friendly wood treatments. We live in the digital era, and TFRI is digitizing its information systems. Large amounts of research data have already been digitized, creating permanent records that can be accessed at any time. All of our information will be available to the public and other research organizations through the TFRI websites. For example, TFRI's forest fire database is already online and accessible. Other services available via the website include plant identification and forest management consultancy services. On the Forest Diagnosis Net, you can ask for a diagnosis of trees suffering from disease or insect damage. There is advice on improving the living environment, commercial uses of timber, identification of wood samples, and paper processing. There is also an online forestry education center providing information and teaching materials on the forestry industry. TFRI is active in nature education, ecotourism, and providing on-site information to visitors. TFRI has its own library and specialist publications, the Wood Exhibition Hall, our fully digitized herbarium, and the insect collection. At the Botanical Gardens and Nature Education Centers, there are volunteers who can give visitors information about the environment and conservation issues. They help visitors to get close to the plants and animals in the gardens and to really appreciate the beauty of the natural world. They also encourage them to understand the importance of nature conservation. Visitors with 3G cell phones or PDAs can also swipe 2D barcodes on garden signs to link directly to the Council of Agriculture's EcoBase, an online database with full information on every plant and animal. With this access to information, visitors get more out of the gardens. They value their natural environment more, and they will do more to protect it. The application of computer technology to all areas of TFRI's work is the key to improvements in research, commercial forestry, ecotourism, and conservation. Here are just a few examples. Keeping records of all Taxus and Nothapodites trees, from planting through to the sale of their products, with standard operating procedures to determine the correct pricing for both products and inputs. Using our geographical information system and aerial remote sensing to monitor land usage, green reforestation, vegetation status, geology, topology, and meteorology at the TFRI sites. All the information is stored and used in our simulations to help improve forest and watershed management practices. Wireless sensor network technology is used to monitor the striped blue crow butterfly over the long term, finding out about its hibernation habits, interactions with other species, and its habitat. Forests are Taiwan's lifeblood. To manage Taiwan's forests sustainably, effective forestry policy must consider not just commerce and profits, but also conservation and the public interest. TFRI combines the forces of the ecology, society, economy, and education to bring new vitality to Taiwan's precious forests. TFRI is laying a solid foundation for a sustainable Taiwan.